Now that we've taken a look at how a My Client Center account works and how you can set the dashboard to do exactly what you want it to do, let's take a look at some additional benefits. And this one is about nesting My Client Center accounts. And this one is particularly important because once you have a successful agency, chances are there's going to be many levels of account management that you might want to encompass. And if you just have a single MCC for everyone in the company, that might not meet your needs. But good news, you can nest My Client Center accounts. So here's what that looks like. I have an MCC account, say your MCC account. And below that MCC account, you can have up to 5 nested MCC accounts. So that means that my MCC account can be linked to 5 other MCC accounts. This is really great, for example, if you have a client who's already working with someone who's maybe doing bid management for them, and now they come to you and they say, hey, can you manage my ad text? Right? In the past, that would have been a problem because if you could only have one other company have your account linked to their MCC, then that was not flexible enough. But nowadays, you can have 5 MCCs linking to your account, right? So you have up to 5 relationships to different MCCs, different agencies, or different account managers. Now, that's one aspect of it, but you can also have nesting. So you can have multiple levels of MCC below you, and you can have a tree that moves down. Right? And that's what it looks like. So one of the MCCs in this structure has its own accounts below it. In fact, every MCC will probably have some accounts linked to it. But in this example, there's my top level MCC. There's a level below that. One of those accounts, those MCC accounts, has many accounts linked below it. But then some of those other MCCs that I'm looking at have sub-MCCs. And that relationship continues down to 5 levels. Right? So with those 5 levels of MCC, you can have a really sophisticated structure of how your agency is set up. Now, it's probably easiest if we take a look at a really specific example of how that might play out in real life to have these 5 levels of nesting. So here's a real life example. Say that it's Fred's agency. And for my agency, we have one MCC. Now, below that My Client Center account, we have a partner agency who does some of the work for us. And so we've linked our MCC to their MCC. Right? That's the first level of nesting down. Below my own MCC, my own agency's MCC, there's also a couple of the accounts that we're managing. Now, note that one of the accounts that we're managing is a car dealership group. And that car dealership group, even though they're an advertiser and not an agency, they have multiple accounts below them. Because they have a location in Miami, they have one in Dallas, they have one in New York. And so rather than managing everything out of a single account, you can see they've set up an MCC for themselves, and below that MCC, they've linked all of those accounts. Now, you can see how the structure is getting more sophisticated now, right? Below the partner agency, MCC, is a structure that's very similar to my own. That partner may have partners of its own. They also have accounts that are just for them that they manage. And so all of that linking is done below that. And you can see that one of the client's MCCs is a restaurant franchise. There's also a hotel network. And you can imagine that below that, there's probably several accounts, one for each of the locations of the hotels, one for each of the locations of the restaurants. And so here you have a real-life example of a pretty sophisticated MCC structure that a real agency might actually have. And so I think this really illustrates why it's so important to be able to have 5 levels of nesting in your MCCs, because it allows you to set up a structure that really makes sense for how you organize your business. It mimics how you organize your business, and so it gives specific access points to each of those parts of your business to the people who work for you. So that's a little bit about nesting MCCs. Let's go take a look at another benefit of MCCs.